Turkmenistan may be hiding one of the strangest political realities on Earth. This is Ashgabat, a capital city covered almost entirely in white marble, gleaming under the desert sun like a futuristic utopia. The streets are spotless. The buildings are perfectly symmetrical. Golden monuments rise from massive fountains. Highways stretch across the city with barely a car in sight. It holds multiple Guinness World Records for architectural extravagance, including the highest concentration of white marble buildings in the world. At first glance, it feels less like a real place and more like a perfectly rendered simulation, something between Las Vegas and a government-funded Disneyland in the desert. But the longer you look, the stranger it becomes. There are no crowds, no visible rush hour, no street life, no spontaneous noise. It feels staged, like a city constructed for display rather than daily living. Billions of dollars were spent to make Ashgabat appear flawless. Yet independent journalists and human rights organizations describe a country where ordinary citizens face strict travel restrictions, limited internet access, and heavy state surveillance. Behind the polished marble facades lies a silence that feels intentional. Because sometimes, perfection isn't a sign of prosperity, it's a sign of control. History has seen this before. In 1944, Nazi Germany created a model ghetto called Theresienstadt to deceive international inspectors. When the Red Cross arrived, they were shown clean streets, cultural performances, smiling families, and well-fed children. Everything appeared humane and orderly, but it was a carefully choreographed illusion. Once the inspections ended, many of the same people displayed for propaganda were deported to death camps. It was a chilling reminder that governments capable of manufacturing beauty are often capable of manufacturing perception. After the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, Turkmenistan gained independence, but democracy never truly followed. Instead, power consolidated under Saparmurat Niyazov, who renamed himself Turkmenbashi, meaning leader of all Turkmen. He dissolved opposition movements, tightened control over media, expanded internal security services, and constructed a personality cult so extensive that it bordered on myth. He authored a book called The Runama, blending national identity, moral guidance, and personal narrative. It became mandatory reading in schools, required knowledge for government employment, and even part of driver's license exams. He claimed that reading it 3 times guaranteed entry into heaven. When a political leader elevates his own writing to spiritual doctrine, governance shifts into psychological engineering. Niyazov's control extended into the symbolic and the surreal. A 24-karat gold statue of himself was installed in the capital, rotating throughout the day to always face the sun. Months of the year were renamed after him and his family members. Certain cultural activities were banned. Travel abroad required layers of permission. Foreign media access was restricted and digital communication increasingly monitored. Critics vanished. Former officials who fell out of favor appeared on state television, delivering confessions that observers described as coerced. A desert prison known as Ovaden Depe reportedly held political prisoners in extreme isolation. In such an environment, fear doesn't need to be loud. It simply needs to be consistent. When Niyazov died suddenly in 2006, many believed reform might follow. Instead, the system endured. Elections produced near-unanimous results. International watchdogs consistently rank Turkmenistan among the least free countries in the world. The marble city remains immaculate. The highways remain quiet. The monuments remain polished. And the performance continues. But here's where this story becomes uncomfortable, because it isn't only about Turkmenistan. Authoritarian control in the 21st century doesn't always require visible statues or overt censorship. In more open societies, influence can be subtler. It can move through algorithms, curated information streams, partisan echo chambers, and emotionally optimized content. Instead of banning opposing ideas, systems can simply drown them out. Instead of forcing one narrative, they can manipulate which narratives feel popular. Control no longer has to be imposed. It can be engineered through attention. And this is the deeper lesson Ashgabat represents. A society does not become controlled the moment freedoms disappear. It becomes controlled when perception is shaped so effectively that people stop questioning what they see. When perfection becomes suspiciously uniform. When dissent quietly fades. When spectacle replaces scrutiny. The most durable systems of power are not those that terrify constantly, but those that normalize control until it feels ordinary. Real freedom is not just the ability to speak. It is the ability to think independently, to question dominant narratives, to recognize when beauty is being used as camouflage. Because once perception is managed, resistance becomes invisible. And whether in a marble capital city or inside a personalized digital feed, the principle remains the same. Whoever controls the story controls the reality. Sometimes the most controlled societies don't look like prisons. Sometimes they look perfect,